Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to try to be very brief, just to share with you a little bit about the contribution from travel and tourism. Last year was a very interesting year for travel and tourism. And as a Mexican, probably I can tell you because it was the end of the Maya calendar, but that wasn't the case. The main reason, actually, were two reasons. One was the fact that we reached, I don't know if you're aware, the 1 billion travelers. Were you aware of that? 1 billion people traveled abroad. That's huge. That was a huge milestone. And the second one was another one that we were trying to achieve for the last several years, which was the G20 support. Finally, after I don't know how many trials, we were able to get the support from the G20. Now, something very interesting also is the fact that for the first time ever, there's an industry alignment. What does that mean? That before, the government and the private sector were working pretty much in different directions. Now everyone is pretty much aligned, which is wonderful. And in different words, there are three priorities. That's how I call it. The first one is freedom to travel. Easy to travel through visa facilitation and through different mechanisms, freedom to travel. The second one is technology enabling. And I'm very glad to see Gate here, Gate Impact and Gate Technology, because that's what it is. It's support investments. It's through technology supporting investments and also supporting the industry. And the third one is green growth. Green growth to protect the resources that we have and don't take those for granted.
Doing here, I don't want to advertise it. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. And just please make sure you turn up on time to speak. Hi, everybody. It's a real pleasure to be here. Oh, a real plug? At the end. They remember that. Right. I run an organization called Africa Investor. We were established about 12 years ago to really focus on raising Africa's international investment profile. And we focus on a number of different sectors and very specific project opportunities within the sectors, because we came into the market at a time when people were taking the view there's an international conspiracy about mobilizing capital to the continent. So we went about engaging policymakers to make them understand that you actually have to professionally promote and market your assets if you want to attract capital. There's no sort of real conspiracy out there. Everyone in the world is going to have their own perspective. So we focus on a few very key and specific sectors and sought to intermediate on a practical level, on a sort of manual level, manual process, buy side and sell side, which is really why Jeff has sort of brought us full circle into the automated space. You know, the intermediation that can come through the types of platforms and technologies that Vince has been pioneering. But when we came at this was about 10 years ago, and no one really wanted to talk about that level of technology and Africa. The whole conversation was development and grants, and we've come full circle now to a conversation where we're looking at project developer teams. Because when you talk about technology, if you don't have an input, you won't have an output. If you have a bad input, you're just going to waste a lot of efficiency that the platform is designed to maximize. So we, as my daughter would say, if I had longer hair, she'd use it to pull me into the 21st century. And in this context, I just asked her to tell me the time, and I pointed at her wrist. I said, "Where's your watch?" She said, "It's on my phone, Dad." So, you know, the world is changing, and I think we have to change with it. But we at Africa Investor are trying to resist that change. We're not saying that we suddenly want to become technology experts overnight, because we know that Vince has proven to us and everyone in this room that's what he can do. What we're saying is we don't want to become victims of our own success. And what I mean when I say that is we are promoting investment into the continent. Continue to advise and support our pension funds from across Africa. So we're bringing about 15 of the leading pension funds from across Africa to the New York Stock Exchange for our 6th annual meeting on Tuesday, a few heads of state, and we're basically trying to bring the policymakers together to focus on investable opportunities on the continent, because we think that's where the intermediation is going to pay off. Thank you.
I think your daughter would have said, if you had any hair, Dad, I'll pull you off the stage.